Lords of the Fallen 2 was just revealed at Gamescom, and I gotta tell you from the trailer, this looks like everything we want it to be. We all know the history of Lords of the Fallen when it was initially released. There were problems upon problems, but the devs listened and have been listening and continue to update Lords of the Fallen to be one of the best Souls-likes out currently. But what does that say for Lords of the Fallen 2? So in this video, we're going to look at what we know, speculate a little bit about what to expect, and hopefully get an absolutely fantastic game in 2026. So let's go over what we absolutely know for Lords of the Fallen 2. This game takes place over 100 years after the initial installment of Lords of the Fallen. We are still playing as the Lampbearer, and it looks like we are going to be fighting the very gods themselves in Lords of the Fallen 2. This game will also be powered by Unreal Engine 5, which brings about a whole new set of anxieties for me since most games I've seen use Unreal Engine 5 are not received well at launch in my opinion because of the graphical standards they require. We will also be getting the two-world mechanic again between something similar to Umbral, if not Umbral itself, and the overworld, which can be shared in campaign progression in online co-op. Once again, I don't expect the dev team to backtrack on anything they have already been working on for Lords of the Fallen 2.0. Rather, they are going to give us a much more polished version of Lords of the Fallen 2 with many added benefits and game mechanics. CI Games is well aware of the damage that happened with Lords of the Fallen when they had to let go of 10% of their staff in January 2024, but fully realized that the success with Lords of the Fallen, especially after 2.0, lies with the player base who saved their game and believed in them. They stated after selling over 2 million units and welcoming over 5.5 million lamp bearers into Lords of the Fallen, it's clear our comeback was community powered, said CI Games boss Marek Timninsky, and if I butchered that last name, I apologize. With Lords of the Fallen 2, we are going further in 2024. We proudly announced our deep commitment to the player-first studio. The version 2.0 update was our promise in action. Listen, respond, and deliver. This sequel is built on that same foundation. Now, if you ask me, this statement reflects a ton of what CI Games stand for and what CI Games has learned with Lords of the Fallen over the last year and a half. They have learned from their mistakes, they are polishing a Lords of the Fallen 2, and I feel when it is released, it will have almost none of the problems, if any, that Lords of the Fallen 1 did when it first launched. Now, the game is going to be available through the Epic Games Store as well as playable on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S. Now, there is a lot of people on Reddit right now who are very upset that it's not going to be releasing on Steam. Some even claiming that the Epic Games Store has paid off CI Games in order for them to have the exclusive rights, but that is all just hearsay and rumors at this point. I do feel like it's a little bit odd that it's not going to be releasing on Steam or have any kind of Game Pass bundle as of right now. But as stated, this game just got a release trailer last night, so there is still a lot more information that needs to come out over the next year in order for us really to have a good snapshot of what Lords of the Fallen 2 is actually going to be. But now let's get into the speculation portion of the video. Also, feel free to add to this portion in the comments, as I would love to see what other lamp bearers have to say or what your hopes are for Lords of the Fallen 2. I think it's pretty safe to say that we're going to be getting a ton of new armor and weapons, with the potential of some old fan favorite weapons returning, and this could potentially be in what I would feel like would be called a relic form, where we can find an ancient relic and wield the power that it still holds. Now, obviously that is all speculation, but that would be a really fun way to tie in some of the old really good boss weapons into Lords of the Fallen 2. I would also love to see some brutal executions when it comes to combat, or the ability to specialize and switch back and forth to which type of execution you want to use, depending on what weapons you are wielding. Another thing I would love to see is a lot of achievements. I am something of an achievement hunter myself and would love to sink a lot of time into Lords of the Fallen, and achievements would be that thing that keeps people coming back over and over. Especially since there are two separate worlds, the achievements could go absolutely wild with Lords of the Fallen 2 if done correctly, in my opinion. Now, something that I think is really exciting here about all of this is the fact that CI Games doesn't need to build up anything new in the system that they've already created for Lords of the Fallen 2.0. Being able to invite your friends to the game who don't have the game and play with them is absolutely insane and earth-shattering for the gaming community. If they keep that going in Lords of the Fallen 2, then that is going to be an absolute game changer for a brand new release. I think if they just build on that system they've already created, then they won't have to concentrate on any of the foundation, but rather hone in on the game mechanics, world lore, and combat, and a few other items in order to make Lords of the Fallen 2 a contender for Game of the Year 2026. I do not feel like CI Games is going to have a problem at launch in 2026. I feel like they have learned a ton from the mistakes that have already been made, and they have proven themselves as a community of devs that listens to their player base and acts accordingly. I think CI Games has always had their player base in mind when trying to fix or trying to enhance their games, especially when it comes to Lords of the Fallen, and Lords of the Fallen 2 is going to be no different in 2026. But guys, that is going to be it for this video and all the news that we know so far. I personally am very excited for Lords of the Fallen 2, and I want to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you too hurt from the original Lords of the Fallen to try Lords of the Fallen 2, or are you ready to give CI Games another chance at the Souls-like genre to really knock our socks off? But with that being said, thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. If you like the content, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification on your way out, and until next time, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.